We're going to make a transfer grid so that we can transfer our photograph, which already has a grid printed on it, onto a larger piece of paper. We often do this for portraits or any other subject you want to transfer and keep the scale. This has been done since the 1400s, and Leonardo da Vinci certainly could have done something like this. We have evidence that he actually did. So to make this work, you need to be at a table that has a 90-degree angle on the corners. Now the actual corner may be rounded, that's not going to affect us too much, but we want to make sure that these two sides are exactly 90 degrees. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our paper and we're going to line it up exactly on the bottom edge and the side edge. And we need to be exact. So we're going to tape it here and tape it here. So I've taped it on the far end of me, and then I've also taped it from the side edge away from me. And then I'm going to use my T-square, and I need to measure. We're going to be doing a 2-inch grid. So I want to make sure that my T-square is hugging the very edge of this. I don't want to be angled any bit. It needs to be exact. And I can bring it here, I could do it in the middle, I could do it on the far end. It really ultimately doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and mark at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24 is the end of the page. And then I'm going to take my T-square, I'm going to make sure that it's hugging the edge of the table, again, that it isn't going left or right even a little bit, and there's no gaps. Now, because the corner of the table is a little rounded, I want to be careful that I'm not actually going around that rounded edge. So I'm going to hold it on this side, and I just quickly strike a line. So I'm running my pencil down the edge of the T-square, and I'm sort of pushing my pencil towards the T-square, and I'm only using the weight of the pencil to draw my lines. And it doesn't matter if you use the left or right side of your T-square, either side will work. And you can see this can be done fairly quickly, but I'm making sure that I exactly hit the dots that I created, or the marks that I've created. I've got one more to do here. And then I go in the opposite direction, and I'm going to go ahead and measure out at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18 is the end of my page. Turn the T-square again, make sure it's hugging the edge of the table, and I got to be careful of that little rounded corner. So I'm going to line it up there, and I'm actually going to put my thumb down on the other end to kind of help hold it, and I'm going to strike a line. Next one. And next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. And then my last one. And now I have a perfect grid on my paper. If you are doing a portrait or a landscape or anything like that, you want to hold it in the same direction your paper is going. So this is vertical in this direction. So I need to count. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. And here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means I got to take off one row in one direction. So I'm going to look at this row, and I'm going to look at this row, and this one seems a little bit off. I mean, barely, but if I had to choose, that's the one I'm going to cut off. So I'll use a scissor and cut right along that line. And then I measure how tall it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we check here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 2 extra rows. I could cut off one off at the top and one off the bottom. Or if I feel like the 2 bottom ones are not my favorite, then I could cut those off. When I'm looking at mine, I actually think maybe my top one and my bottom one are the ones that I could go ahead and cut off. So I will use my scissor and cut along this line, this line, this line, and I'll have an 8x10 grid on both of these so that they coordinate. And that's how I create my grid for transferring an image.